All right. Oh, happy day, everybody. Here we are with Bobby. We are live in the telesales arena. So Bobby is a slayer. He's getting it done in big ways in the telespace, and he's done it for just quite a few weeks now. But Bobby, share with us your background. You've kind of had a little bit of a dance with telesales and then, crazy good results in the face-to-face world as well. Share with us your background. Have you done tele before and then, face-to-face? What's your background for the audience?
So I got my license back in February, right? And I did face-to-face kind of off and on, March through May, and during the whole COVID deal when it really hit. And I was like, man, you start hearing about the whole telesales deal and so I wanted to get into it and I tried it, right? And it just didn't work out the way that I expected it to. And I was like, man, this has to work. I know, I know it could work, but I just didn't have the right guidance, right? I didn't have the right script, the right leads, and it just didn't work out. So, and I felt like it defeated me, right? So when I went back into the field, I was doing okay, right, in business, and I was like, man, I really want to try this telesales thing, So I kind of started looking around, and then of course I see you, writing tons of business, and it's right under my nose. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna, why don't I just reach out to Jason, So that's when I reached out to you, and the first week, I ran business, and it's getting better and better week by week. So
that's amazing, Bobby. Share with me, what was your first week's production in AP? What was that, just ballpark?
So my first production was somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 AP.
That's not a bad week for being brand.
Right, and I didn't really know what kind of to expect. If am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? So I kind of just got the feel of it, and and then the next week I almost doubled the production, and then the next week I added on to that, and so it's going good. It's going really good.
So I know you're totally a humble guy, Bobby, which I love the heck out of you. You know that. But so your third week, just for the audience, it was 14 applications for $9,109 and like 80 pennies, I think, if we want to get technical. Am I right?
Right. That's about right on the penny.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, how is that? Like, you've done face-to-face. From the face-to-face side, do you miss anything about the face-to-face? Like, is it a big difference from an income standpoint or your ability to earn income compared to what you did before?
So I was in the car business before, man. And, of course, lots of long hours and stuff, and the pay was okay. And I thought that's something I was going to do for the rest of my life. Right.
Right.
So I made a big move. I moved to where I'm at now, and I got out of the car business completely, man, just cold turkey. Got out of it. I said, I just need to make a change. Right.
Wow.
So I didn't know what I was going to do. I just got out of it. And kind of maybe like most agents, I just fell into the insurance agency or the insurance business, and just kind of started learning the ropes and, things here and there. And so that's how I got into it. And man.
So you were like me in the same position where you didn't like leave high school and go, man, I can't wait to be an insurance agent. This is my dream, right?
Right. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it, man. It's cool.
How's the freedom, the difference where when you were face-to-face for a while, when you did face-to-face and the freedom that you have compared to now in the telespace, is there a pro to that with your family, or experiencing any like new windows that are opening up for you in the telespace from what you can produce?
Yeah, so there's a huge difference. I kind of got off track a little bit. I forgot exactly the question that you asked, but okay.
No, that's all right.
I was face to face, right? And I didn't even do it for so long, 6 months or whatever the case was. And I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it started feeling like I was back in the car business again, right? Lots of long hours driving all around town and things like that. And I was like, okay, I'm running business, I'm getting money in the bank account, I'm paying the bills, I'm stacking some funds. But I just felt like okay, this is not going to be sustainable for me, for my lifestyle, and you know, for my family and things like that. So I said, you know what? That's when I looked into telesales, and I knew there had to be a more time efficient way to write the same amount of business and even more, and you know, a business that's more, you know, sustainable for myself, you know. So yeah, so I mean, telesales is definitely, I'll never go back to the field again, man. If I go back to if somebody asked me to come over to their house and come write an ad because they may not want to do it over the phone, I actually just turn it down, man, because it's just too much time wasted to go drive 45 minutes, an hour here and come back. I could have been on the phone giving 5 or 6 presentations and writing 2 or 3 apps, you know? So yeah, man, a big difference from the field to being over the phone.
Absolutely. I experienced the same thing. So it's always, I love hearing your viewpoint as well. I mean, because it's like, you know, you're slaying it, you're getting it done, you're following good methods, and you know, it's different for sure. It's a completely different animal. It's like the sales system is the same, but there's little nuances, I think, that, you know, your first run where you didn't quite get the results, and that wasn't because of your work ethic. I know how you work. You work like, you know, you work hard. It had nothing to do with your work ethic.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was on the phone, I was hammering it out, and I mean, I didn't have anybody to call and say, hey, man, you know, I'm doing this, you know, how should I change, you know, how should I change it up on the phone? What am I doing wrong? I didn't have any guidance, man. And without a mentor, you know, it was kind of like you're just going down a dark road and you don't know where you're going, you know. Even if I was doing something right, I don't even know if I was doing anything right, you know. So when I got when I talked to you, I mean, it's like night and day. The first week, you know, maybe it's not a ton of business, but I wrote a little under 5,000. And I was like, okay, that's not just a fluke that can happen the first week. You know, let me keep doing this and, you know, put a little bit more effort into it. And next week, you know, production almost doubled, you know, and so forth. So all it takes is leads, just like in the field, you just need leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what leads you have, just leads, and be on the phone. Put some effort into it, put the time into it, but you have to have the right guidance with the right script, because without that, I mean, it's not going to work. And I see a lot of people, you know, on social media or YouTube and, you know, and things like that are saying, you know, I tried the telesales thing out, man, I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't work. I'm in the field, you know, and I never leave the field. But there's a reason you tried telesales, right? Because you weren't, you know, the field isn't what you wanted to do. It's just you didn't have the right guidance over the phone to make it work, you know. And if you did, you know, the conversation would be completely opposite. So yeah, man, I mean, yeah, the telesales thing is the way to go.
I think a little big difference. Now, a lot of people, when they go to a different insurance group or they go to a different agency, from a support standpoint, how accessible is the agency when you need something? How long does it normally take you? Because I know you've worked for different agencies in the past, and you go to try to get a question answered, or you go to try to get something in real time. Just for the viewers, the people in our, you know, insurance group, how quick is the response normally?
So a couple things. Okay. If I needed anything from my other agency, you know, it was, even if I sent a text, it's like, hey, send me an email as a reminder. I'm going to put it in my Calendly, or, hey, man, my day's all booked tomorrow, but hey, I can call you the next morning about 9 o'clock. Is that okay? And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? This is kind of, and with you, I being in the car business, you know, for 10 years before this, I seen, you know, there's lots of different managers and different types of leadership and things like that. And I've been around a lot of good leadership and things, but when it came to you, I knew it was the real deal, because anything I needed, first thing, hey, what's up, Bobby? Man, what do you need? Let's take care of it right now. It doesn't matter what time it is, you know, whatever the case is. Every single time I call you, whether I'm on the phone with the client, I'm sending you a text, I get a response back that second. And if I don't, I know it's because you're probably on your own phone hammering, getting a deal by yourself, so it's huge, man. And that's the big difference with guidance and mentorship, especially over the phone. And that's why probably everybody fails, because they're not following somebody that's done it before them, right? And you have to have somebody to teach you, and not only teach you, but do it the right way. So it's a big difference. I mean, there's not anybody out there like a Jason Final Expense, I can tell you that. I've been around a lot of people, and yeah, it doesn't come close.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that. It's fun. I mean, as we know, like, it's fun. We call it, we're the Tele Squad. Our group is. It's fun, but we go at it together. There's not a week that goes by that I'm not swinging with you. And I'm proud of you, man. I mean, 14 plus sales in a week. I mean, there's agents that don't do that in captive insurance agencies in a month. In a month, they don't do that. Like $9,109 and change. I got word today from a captive agent force. Their top manager did like $8,000 on his own pen in 3 months. I'm like,
holy moly!
Even talk about that. I'd like take my laundry and go wash it.
And the thing is with that and those numbers, man. I mean, there's a whole lot more effort that can go into that, man. That's kind of like really like minimal effort and time on the phone. When you're at home, and you're working in the office and you have a whole lot of other distractions, you really can't let it bother you, because if it does, man, you can't be in and out of the office and things like that. And that business, I wrote it kind of just here and there, but I have another system that I'm putting together now to put, more effort into it. So I'm looking to, to double the production and, just keep it sustainable and stay consistent.
And you're doing a great job, man. Crazy. Can't be more proud of you and everybody else on the Tele Squad, as we call ourselves. And like, just seeing the fact that you're able to take something, because a lot of people in the final expense world, they think that the systems are not duplicatable, or that, one person writes it and that's it. I mean, it's ridiculous what our group does as a whole.
Yeah.
And to see like it's scalable.
It's not just me. I mean, I see other people that I've worked with in other agencies that have moved over with you, and day one, it's like night and day. All of a sudden, you see apps coming through that wouldn't have been there. It's just, I think a lot of agents fall out of maybe insurance in general, and not just telesales. In the short time that I've been in it, it's just they're right there about to figure it out. They just need the right guidance, the right mentor, and instead of being here, they could be on the other side of that mountain. Everything can be the complete opposite. Writing apps, making money, having fun, and just enjoying life.
And we have to have fun. I mean, what's the point, right? Like, I think some people like they do telesales and they're like, it's the difference of I have to go get on the phone versus I get to get on the phone. I mean, when the Monday bell cracks, it's like a war zone for us, man. It's like, who's the first one that's going to get an app? We just go. It's ridiculous. And normally you'll crack off, or Alex will, or somebody else is going to come barking hard, or, Robert's going to come deep, or Jason. It's fun to just kind of, have some enjoyment. I think, insurance, don't get me wrong, it's a solo sport. You're doing the effort all day long, Bobby, for your own, right? And you're having crazy good success. You're crushing it in big ways. But I enjoy just the relationship and the camaraderie that we have and we share. I mean, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I enjoy it. And it's something I look forward to growing and, later eventually building a team and man, telesales for sure.
It's not too bad compared to other things we could be doing with our lives. That's for sure. Does it give you a little bit more? I know, we're talking about, scaling your business, and how is the family balance? Because I know when you go face to face, it's like, I know there's agents out there that have done interviews that are like, wow, I leave my house at 7 a.m. and I don't get back till 1 o'clock at night, go do face to face sales. And I'm like, That doesn't sound like a great balance. I think my wife would kick my tail if I was out till 1 a.m. all the time.
It's a huge difference. Like I said, when I was in the field, you know, I'd never really done anything outside of the car business, right? So I really didn't know what anything else was. But I said, hey man, this is something else that, we can make some money, and and pay the bills, and and try to stack up, for the future. But after a little while, I'm like, man, like I said, I felt like I was right back in the car business again, getting up early in the morning. And then it was probably worse than the car business, traveling everywhere and everything, man. And, not being able to be around my children as much, and, and my wife, so, and as far as telesales, I just walk in the other room, I go outside, eat lunch with them, I'm here when I get off, so, and I'm not on the phone from 8 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. I would say, I work a 9 to 5, and
how that?
I don't get paid, nothing wrong with it, but it's more than, $8 an hour or whatever it is. So,
Right. I mean, it's like when you start doing math, anything, and pardon me while I grab a calculator, but the way you're scaling, if you did this just 50 weeks a year at $9,000 a week, that's on pace for like $455,000+. It's almost $500,000. I mean, the amount of education that it takes for someone to earn that kind of money, and you're just scaling like this. And it's like you start off at, 4 G's a week, $7,400 your next week, 9,000 the next week. And you're like, I'm working 9 to 5. I mean, that's your family's got to be proud of you, man. Your family's got to be proud of you. You're doing the work.
It's just so scalable, I mean, in face-to-face, unless what's even worse is face-to-face. It's cool if you live in a certain area where you can actually run business, daily, right? But to me, it's worse if you do have a family and things like that, and you're having to travel 3 hours away and then stay the night and do travel trips and things like that. But with telesales, you don't travel anywhere. I can call somebody, 10 states away, and it's just, and you can write business. So it's like, it only makes sense to do the telesales thing. It doesn't make sense to me to go out in the field if you're able to write, 7 to 10, somewhere between 5 to 10,000 a week, right? And the thing is, look, even if somebody is writing 10 to 12,000 in the field a week, right? They're probably spending $2,000 to $3,000 in lead costs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say if I only write 7,000 that week over the phone, but my lead cost is only $300. All that matters is what's going into my bank account. I'm putting in my bank account the same as anybody else that's writing 10 to 12,000 a week, and I do it all from home, 9 to 5, if that, and I get to do what I want, So that's the biggest thing. The lead cost, for me, is a fraction of what anyone that's traveling all over Timbuktu, to write the same amount of business and actually, put in their bank account. So
your deposits are doing just dandy. Which is nice. So awesome, Bob. Well, I appreciate you doing this interview with me. It's so fun. We're going to have a good rest of our weekend. Absolutely. So to all of the rest of our viewers, one last question before we go. Does your wife think you smell better at the end of your day compared to face-to-face? I'm just curious.
Oh, man. I'm not even in the car business that I used to come home and have to jump in the shower. I mean, I'd come home, my body oily, and my hair smelled like smoke. My body smelled like somebody's cooking, and and things like that. I mean, in the field, I guess it's something you just have to get used to. But I mean, why get used to that when you can just be at home writing the same business and probably putting more money in your bank account? Yeah, it's just a more sustainable and more just a better lifestyle to enjoy. I mean, there's nothing else better than it. from my point of view. So
that's awesome. Well, have a great night, Bobby. Thank you, everybody. JasonFinalExpense.com. If you're not doing telesales, go have fun, get into it, partner with the right place. But it's a pretty good opportunity. We smell a whole lot better. Have a good one, you guys. Thanks, Bobby.